Religions outside of Islam have strayed from the truth. They are either vain beliefs fabricated by man or altered by human interventions. They have also moved away from the truth. Let's give an example here. Isabella, Queen of Castile, known for her cruelties and tortures against the Muslims of Andalusia, entered history as Isabella the Lail. According to the distorted belief of altered Christianity, being clean meant giving importance to the world. Isabella, a fervent Catholic, never bathed. She smelled so bad that no one could approach her. She had only washed herself twice in her life. Due to this ridiculous view, which extended not only to the queen but also to other supposedly pious married women, the population abandoned their foul-smelling wives due to Christian fanaticism, preferring to marry simply because they bathed, thus encouraging prostitution. This became endemic in society, leading to the disease of adultery that destroys families, plunging souls and generations into misery. This is the lamentable condition of an altered religion, a human production. Since Paul, Christianity has been continuously altered and continues to be altered today under pressure. It is strange that in some countries, like the Netherlands, the Church celebrates the marriage of two men. In fact, the Church opposed this recently, but now it makes a concession in this area. Thus, the Church itself consecrates a grave sin and rebellion that lowers man to the lowest in society. Can one consider marrying sins and rebellions as a religious approach? How can one marry evil with man? A religion that constantly bends to pressure, without principle and personality, can it bring happiness to man? Certainly not. Judaism is not different. It has also become a toy of alterations to serve its own race. It has become the enemy of humanity, transforming oppression into religion. Judaism has strayed so far from the truth that it does not even invite humanity to its religion. This religion is exclusive to them. Superstitions have invaded their oral and written cultures. The remnants of the Torah and the Psalms in their hands have been so altered that in these distorted pages, they do not hesitate to attribute absurdities to the prophets, such as fighting against God, falling into disbelief, and committing adultery. The worship rites have also been altered. An example is the ritual of Kapparat, practiced by a group of ultra-Orthodox Jews who are divided like Christianity. Before the religious holiday of Yom Kippur, a person buys a rooster, recites a prayer, and spins it 3 times over their head, claiming that their sins are transferred to the bird. Then, by sacrificing this animal, they rid themselves of their sins. They admit themselves that this ritual has no foundation before the destruction of Solomon's temple. To rid themselves of their sins, they would load their sins onto a goat and abandon it in the desert. This gave rise to the expression, scapegoat, used in our language to describe the transfer of someone's mistakes to an innocent person. However, after the destruction of the temple, they invented the rooster. In both altered religions, freeing oneself from sins is tied to simple reasons. However, in Islam, only Allah can forgive sins, and it is not possible to ensure this in worldly life. Until the last breath, one continues to seek forgiveness and refuge from Allah. Allow me to share an anecdote I heard from Nassif Fazou, the famous sociologist. Toynbee went to Egypt. As a sociologist, he approached a strange beggar and asked him, "If I give you money, what will you do?" The beggar replied, "I will pray to Allah for you." Toynbee then asked, "Would Allah accept your prayer?" The beggar answered, "Sir, I pray, the rest does not concern me. If Allah wills, He will accept, if He does not will, He will not accept." To this, Toynbee said, "Our educated priests claim that they forgive the sins of a person like them, but here the strangest person of this religion says, if Allah wills, He accepts, if He does not will, He does not accept." Therein lies the difference of Islam compared to altered religions, with a consciousness instilled in every individual. Another example, a church member is asked, what should a person do when they commit a sin? They should go see the priest, give money, and confess their sins. And if they sin again, they return and give more money, and the priest will forgive them again. But if the sin involves the rights of others, how can the priest forgive it? There is no answer. The question of forgiveness of sins is a deception. Can a servant forgive a sin committed against Allah by another servant? Who can accept that one person forgives a theft, a murder, or any other serious injustice committed against them? Who can accept the suppression of justice? These contradictions distance people from altered religions. It is these contradictions, these paradoxes, that turn people away because of altered religions. If those who turn away from altered beliefs could encounter the true religion of Islam, they would see that these contradictions do not exist in the true religion and that Islam is the very perfection of perfection. They would thus avoid falling into fanatical judgments about the religious institution and achieve happiness in this life and the hereafter. The religions of the Far East have strayed from pure reason, with a caste system hostile to human freedom, customs and traditions that kill people, an invention to deny the afterlife, reincarnation, a soul migration that has become unreasonable. A belief system that does not serve justice, law, and legality, a soul migration devoid of purpose, absurd mysticism, idol worship, and the idolatry of temples in a deplorable, dirty state mixed with mythology, legends, and disorders without creator or purpose. These religions offer no chance for happiness. There are also misguided religions in Africa, religions that sacrifice humans, that worship stones, semi-savage religions. Moreover, none of the current religions propose a remedy for happiness for humanity. They provide no solution for individuals, families, society, the economy, parents, children, or the elderly. Even if their initial state was correct centuries ago, they have become capable of touching only one or two aspects of life due to alterations. It is not correct to judge the religious institution in general by looking at these religions. Islam is the name of the true religion. In Islam, there are no illogical, cruel, or stupid practices. Islam has not been altered, and in Islam, there is no authority to speak on behalf of Allah, to define belief, or to establish the lawful and unlawful, because, in Islam, the will belongs to Allah. Islam derives all its foundations from the Quran, the word of Allah, and the teachings and practices of the Prophet, the Sunnah. Scholars can only compare the issues they face later with the rules of the Quran and Sunnah. They can make deductions compatible with the spirit of the Quran and Sunnah. Islam, which does not allow life to drift into a self-centered existence, is today attacked, especially for this. That is why the fear designated by the term Islamophobia has been created. Defamations have been launched to slander Islam and create a rift between it and the people, while Islam assures believers security against all temporary fears, creating travelers to paradise due to the absence of any responsibility. Molding the individual in other beliefs and systems makes them approach much more tolerantly. The person is the enemy of what they do not know. Many people who oppose Islam have not truly studied it. In this sense, let us briefly summarize the content of Islam. The content of the religion covers all stages of life. It answers every question to achieve the goal of happiness in both worlds. These answers never contain contradictions, they are systematically and organized. It is perfect and organized, it is the most perfect of the perfect. It prepares and achieves happiness both in this world and in the hereafter. In the modern ignorance that makes one forget the afterlife, there is a religious understanding called moderate, imprisoned in the consciousness and temples composed of erroneous ideas. Erroneous conceptions such as deism, which strays from Sharia, and the ignorance of the annulment of decrees, such as historicism, are advanced. However, the true religion, which is Islam, organizes not only the life of obligatory prayer but also the life of every act of believers, from the individual to the family, from the family to society, from private life to the streets and squares, from sustenance to the economy. At every stage of life, it organizes the lives of believers in a more beautiful manner and according to ideal criteria. It elaborates judgments on all actions of the obligatory. The religion allows us to understand the purpose of the creation of the world and of man. It organizes all aspects of life, even the breath we take, every step we make. The religion prepares man for tranquility of conscience in this world and eternal happiness in the hereafter through rules and principles. There is an answer to all your questions. Join our community to explore together the beauty of Islam. Subscribe and activate notifications to be inspired by enriching content. Thank you for being part of our spiritual journey.